Hey guys, it's Doc, and today we're going to do a video on pressure washing concrete driveways. I'm going to include a bunch of different tips, a bunch of different stuff, so hold on one sec. Hey guys, so the past 2 days I've been shooting this video and putting it together, and let me tell you exactly how we're going to do this. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the equipment that we use, some little things that will make your life a lot easier. Then we're going to talk about the actual process of doing it, ways that'll make it easier. We'll talk about chemicals versus using non-chemicals. We'll talk about how long it lasts. We'll talk about pool surfaces a little bit. We're going to talk about a bunch of different stuff, so stick with me here. Hey guys, so this is going to be an updated pressure washing video for 2019. I'm going to go over our top picks of products that you need for not only pressure washing driveways, but the same thing. I did a deck video. I use this same equipment for our pool, so it's pretty versatile. If you want to clean your house, same thing. Great pressure washer, great attachments, great accessories. So first of all, I'm going to go over the pressure washer we recommend. The unit that I recommend as a top pick is the Simpson model, and in the description below, this is important, in the description below there's going to be a link to a web page, and what I'm going to do is everything that I'm talking about here, all these little gadgets and products and so forth, there'll be links directly on Amazon where you can just buy them, add them to your cart, and it's just an easy way to do it. So remember, below the video there's going to be a description, and you'll be able to see it and be able to add. Why do I recommend, let's start with the pressure washer. Why do I recommend this pressure washer? Well, this one I think is about 1.5 years old now. We tested several of them, and this was our winner for the average homeowner. And when I say the average homeowner, you don't want to buy a pressure washer and feel like you needed more. And I'll tell you right now, you will not need more with this thing. You can professionally power wash with this unit. Now, let's get this clear up. I've run professional power washing systems. I've run hot water, truck mounted, massive systems. This is the one that a homeowner needs to buy. You can clean anything. Quite honestly, if you wanted to throw this on the back of a truck and start a pressure washing business, you could actually do it. But there's a couple of things I like about this unit. Number one, it's the perfect combination of PSI and gallons and GPM. It's called a cleaning unit. You take your PSI times your gallons per minute, and that equals your cleaning unit or your cleaning efficiency. So this one is 3,200 PSI, and it's 2.5 gallons per minute, which is perfect. Now the average garden hose puts off close to anywhere about close to 10 gallons, somewhere between 5 and 10. So you don't have to worry about overdrawing. The 2.5 is the perfect amount. 3,200 will blast the hair off anything. It's powerful, I'm telling you. Again, everything I've ever wanted to do with this thing, I have no issues with it. But there are some features on this thing that I really like. Number one, it has the Honda GC190 on it, which is a smaller, lightweight unit. It's a real gas miser. You can run this thing and use barely any gas. And if you can, run an ethanol-free gas and put a little fuel saver in it when you're getting ready to store it. But let me show you a little trick here. There aren't many pressure washers that you can do that with. So if you ever need to transport this thing and put it in the back of your truck, you can actually transport things. Plus it's small. I got enough crap in my garage. I don't need a whole bunch of stuff. So it's a small unit, but it has a ton of power. It's about half the size of the old pressure washers in its days, delivering the same amount of power and efficiency. It comes completely assembled. It ships from Amazon. It gets to your house, I think, in probably about 2 days, 1 or 2 days. It's all assembled. All you have to do is basically just put the handle on it, clip a handle on it. I think the wheels are even on it. So it's pretty simple. Let me show you a couple little details real quick. Now the unit's going to come with a standard one, which is about 18 inches. It does come in, one of the things I like about it, it does come in with a real good quality. Now I want to also, before I get started, I want to let you know that a lot of people say, oh, I've got a Generac, or I've got this, and Simpson makes a lot of the pressure washers for the secondary market. So there's a good chance if you have a pressure washer you bought from somewhere, Simpson made it and private labeled it, just so you know. Anyways, good quality, has a swivel on it, swivel handle on it, nice quality. I've been using this thing non-stop, no problems. Again, it comes with a standard about 18-inch one. I'll put a link in the description below to this long extension one. You're going to need this for when you're cleaning your driveway and using surface cleaners. The fuel tank, I think I get close to an hour and a half on a real small fuel tank, which is nice. Has an on-off button. The only thing this unit doesn't have is it does not have a fuel shutoff, just so you know. You can add one. You can just add it into the fuel line, but I've never used one. I have not put one on. Wheels, lightweight, nice OEM pump. This pump is fantastic. Really satisfied with it. It comes with all your basic tips. So it comes with a soap tip. It comes with a 0, 15, 25, and 40. You can see I basically get rid of my 0. I never use my 0. So I don't even have that in here. This is a turbo nozzle. I use this sometimes for curbs. It's a good little piece to have. But here's one little attachment that I think everyone, regardless of your power washer, should have. I'll put a link to this in the description below on that page. This little extension with this hose. This gives you a little bit of flexibility, and all these things, it's really hard to always reach in here and connect your hose. Man, this is a lifesaver. That's the most important investment you can make on a pressure washer. Now, it comes with a feeder system. Now, this feeder system tube is connected to the bottom down there. And let me show you, this is one of my tricks. It does have a little screener on the end of it. Piece of grass on it. It does have a screener on the end of it, but what I do is I tape a little metal rod to it. And what that does is that weights it down if you want to put it into a gallon jug and keeps it straight. If you don't have that metal rod on there, I just use like duct tape to tape it on. If you don't have that metal rod, the plastic hose has a tendency to sort of want to just curl up and not sit on the bottom. So that's a really smart tip. That'll really help you. The only time that the intake that this hose runs, there is no on-off switch. The only time it runs is when you put on the soap adapter. So that's the only time that it'll intake fluid. There is no on-off. So you put that on to spray whatever you want to spray, and it runs in approximately a 7-to-1 ratio on the mix. Good warranty on it. If you want to add an extended warranty 2 years past the manufacturers, it runs about $30. I didn't get it on this one, I don't think. I just haven't had problems with them. All right, let's talk about what else. Oh, let me give you another little tip real quick on the ends. This is fishing reel grease. It's real clean, it's waterproof, and that's what I use. Sometimes, like on your hose ends here, you know, sometimes you'll get corrosion buildup on here and it gets hard to get on and off. I just use a little bit of that. Now, I only do it on the outflow. So this is an outflow. You don't want grease on any inflow connections. So I also, if you'll notice, on the outflow section here, you can see a little bit of that grease. I put it on the inside here and I put it on the outside here. And I also, let me also show you another place where you get calcium buildup is right here. On this little connector here, you'll get calcium buildup, which makes the plugs hard to go in and out. Put a little of that fishing reel grease right in there, and your tips will go in and out real easy. I also put a little bit actually right on the tip. You can probably see it. No more sticking tip issues. Since last year we recommended this as our top pick, just from our recommendations, I would say well over 1,000 of these things have been sold, and it's become an Amazon choice product. So, and the reviews that people feedback have been fantastic, saying, Doc, that thing is an amazing machine. Thanks for recommending it. I think there's only been 1 or 2 people on there that said, I got it and had a pump issue. It's going to happen with all of them. But for the most part, if you have 1 out of 500, it's a pretty good record. All right, let's talk about surface cleaners. This is always a point of contention. You want to start a bar fight, talk about using a surface cleaner versus a tip, and I'll just make this statement very clear. There's not a single professional pressure washing company that will clean a driveway or swimming pool deck without a surface cleaner. And end of story. Now, when I say professional, I don't mean someone that comes out and charges you. I don't mean someone that throws a pressure washer on the back of their truck. I'm talking about educated professional, people that have gone through the educational process on pressure washing. In other words, they can tell you exactly what chemical they're going to use on what type of wood siding to make corrections on that. It's very technical. If someone were to show up and want to wash and power wash my swimming pool deck and they didn't have a surface cleaner, I would tell them to leave, hands down. Look, you're going to get, I've been using a pressure washer, I've been using a wand for 30 years cleaning driveways with no problem, does a better job. Okay, you haven't tried one. Try one, number one. Number two, try one that's matched up to the right unit, and that's a critical point. You'll never go back. It'll save you half the time, and there's no mess. There's none of this mud blowing around. There's no sand popping around. It's very gentle, and you won't dig into your concrete. I don't know what else to say, but you will not find a truly professional power washing company that does not use surface cleaners. That's it. End of story. Last year we recommended this one because it was readily available and fairly inexpensive. This is the Briggs unit. Gosh, I think it's probably about 50 bucks or so. But I went ahead and we decided to this year go with this unit. Now this is a 14, this is a 15. Now it's important on these surface cleaners to match them up to the PSI, and that's why I say this one right here combined with this unit right here is the phenomenal cleaning. It is absolutely amazing. But this one's a lot beefier. So you can see it's got a big old brass metal fitting up here versus this up here. When you flip them over, you can see the difference. That one versus that one. It's a lot beefier. Okay, when you spin them, that one has kind of a grindy noise, so it's basically a washer, two couple washers. This one is actually a ball bearing. The other thing that's important that I like about this is look at the brush sizes. The brush size difference on it has a much deeper brush. So this thing, it's probably about 10 or 20 bucks more than this one, but that's our winner now. So what you're going to get is you're going to get this thing with the extension wand, with that little hose attachment, with that surface cleaner, and you're all set. That's all you need. We'll have links to all this stuff in the description below. You can go and click on them, but that is by far the #1 choice, hands down, of what you're going to need to clean this driveway. I strongly recommend you get a little shut-off valve. And that way you can shut this off, and it just makes life a lot easier. Okay, so let's take a minute and let's talk about the use of chemicals when cleaning. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know what I say. You're going to be removing a small amount of the surface anyways, so there's no reason to use any kind of cleaning chemicals or agents. Everything that's on there is going to come up. The only thing that's not going to come up are stains. If it's an oil stain, it's really deep down into the concrete usually. So typically the best thing to do is they sell oil eaters online, which is an enzyme, and you put it on there and you cover it up and you allow the enzymes to actually eat the oil. That's probably the best solution for oil stains. Let's talk about red clay stains, because that's the next one, or rust stains. Rust stains you can usually take out through power washing, sometimes a little muriatic acid if you have a little rust stain here or there. But most of the time, if you have red clay soil, you're going to have red stains on your cement. And I'm going to show you here why bleaching really isn't going to help that much. It may help a little bit, but it's not going to help a whole lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go grab a rock real quick to help explain this for a sec. So hold on. If you've ever been to a creek, you've seen these yellow rocks inside of a creek. See how yellow it is? Okay, unfortunately, this one is painted on the other side for a video I did. But it's this yellow creek rock. It's exposed to the red clays and soils. Well, let's look inside. All right, so normally when you break open these rocks, they're almost pure white inside. This one actually has some minerals inside of it too. But I want you to look at the difference. There's the inside of the rock. There's the stained surface. Inside, stained. Inside matches the concrete. Stained matches the concrete stains. Now, you can take this rock and you can soak it in muriatic acid, a tub of it. You can soak that rock in bleach for a month. It doesn't matter. It's still going to be a yellow rock. It's a pigment that's now on it, and it's not going to come off. So a lot of times when you're trying to remove these red clay stains, and they just don't come off, and that's why you take off a heavier amount of the surface to try and remove that stained area, then spray a little bleach on it, and that's what typically works. So now you understand that if you have red clay stains on your cement, on your concrete, it's not the entire surface that's red. If you step back and look at it, it's usually individual pieces that are red inside there. And something, whether it's a quartz or whether it's some kind of silica or whatever it is, has actually absorbed that stain over the years. And it doesn't bleach out. You can't bleach it out. The only way to effectively do it is to try and remove as much of that surface as possible through heavy cleaning. Maybe put a little bit of bleach on it, but muriatic acid's not going to take it out. Bleach is not going to take it out. Bleach will lighten it a little bit, but really just a real heavy cleaning is the way. All right, so last thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about muriatic acid. A lot of people say use muriatic acid on your concrete. You can, I guess. I don't know that it's worth it, and I'm going to show you over here. All right, so what I've done is I've put this right here circle is raw bleach. So I put raw bleach here. Then I took straight undiluted muriatic acid and put it here. You can see it's all kind of yellow and it's bubbling. And what we're going to do is we're going to rinse that off now that we're done and see if there's any difference. So here's the point that I'm trying to make with the chemical situation. This is the worst stain area I have in my entire driveway. Water runs all down through here, pools, gets muddy and comes across here. So this is the reddest red clay stain. After cleaning, I came out with bleach and put a circle right here with bleach and put a circle right here with raw muriatic acid full strength. See the amazing difference? Nope. That's what I'm trying to prove to you here. Cleaning with the proper equipment will do the best job. The chemicals, it's just not that big of a difference. Okay, so let me show you how we start this setup. So what I like to do, I know I'm going to start here. I always start on my highest plane and let it go down. It's one little tip for you. So always start at a high point so that your water flows out of that high point. Put your surface cleaner at your farthest point. Stretch out your hose so you don't have any loops. Put your machine here. And that'll allow you to clean this entire area in here. Next, hook up your hose. Make sure you don't have any kinks. Again, this is the Zero-G Professional 3/4 inch hose. I'll put a link to that on the page. Turn this nozzle on. And you're going to hear it go into the actual system. The next thing you're going to want to do is come over here. Allow the water air to bleed out. Then the next thing I do is I grab my 15-degree tip and I put it in my pocket, because what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to clean that off, it's got grease on it. Because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to clean an area off with the surface cleaner, reach down in my pocket, grab the tip, put the tip back in, and blow that excess, any dirt that's left over pooling, I'm going to blow it off the area. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to clean an area, put the tip on, blow that, anything that's left, anything that's pooling, any dirt and carbohydrates, I'm going to blow them off the driveway after I'm done. All right, so probably one of the stupidest comments I always get on these videos are from professional people saying you have to put down bleach to kill the mold spores. Not true. Okay, you're going to be power washing and you're going to be blowing all the mold spores off of there. They're going to be gone. Here's the problem. Every cubic yard of air that is outside has anywhere from 50,000 to 300,000 mold spores. That's right. Every cubic yard of air. So as I breathe, every time I take a breath, 5,000 mold spores go in and out. 5,000 mold spores go in and out. They're around us all the time. Inside your house, it's lower. And they actually do testing for that, but I don't even think they even start to worry about it till you're over like 5,000 or 10,000 on the interior. But outside, there's a ton of them out here. So, putting down bleach, as an example, will kill off a few mold spores that are sitting on your driveway. As soon as you shut down and go off, what ends up happening? Well, bleach will actually dissipate, because bleach is actually a gas converted into liquid. It's a long story too, but bleach goes away very quickly. It doesn't have any sustaining cleaning ability or killing power. So every minute that goes by of the day, you might as well assume that there are 10,000 to 50,000 mold spores being deposited newly on your driveway. Every minute of every day, 10,000 to 50,000 new mold spores being deposited on your driveway. So what's the trick? The trick is to remove something that makes them survive. And what makes them survive? What makes them survive is number one, water, and number two, carbohydrates. So if you take away the carbohydrates, because we can't control the water from rains really, you'll get rid of your mold. You get rid of that black mold that builds up. You'll get rid of the algae that builds up. Well, algae is different, sorry, not algae, but mold. So basically dirt, pollen. You look at your car in the morning, pollen's all over it. That's carbohydrates. Dirt, grass clippings, things that just float through the air. That's all carbohydrates that mold and mildew can actually live on. So by cleaning it, you're removing that. Essentially, it's going to be nice and bright. Putting down a chemical will kill a little bit, but the next day it doesn't make a bit of difference because you're going to have brand new ones moving in. Okay, so on that line of should you use chemicals, here's what you need to understand. See that green? You know what that green is. If it's green, it's algae. Algae has plankton, or excuse me, has chlorophyll inside of it, so it's green. If it's black, okay, here's a perfect example of a spot. Right under the faucet, a little bit of a leak. A little bit of water, it has everything it needs. It has water, it has carbohydrates, that's mildew. That's mold and mildew right there. So if it's black, it's mildew. If it's green, it's algae. What's the difference? The difference between the two is that mildew cannot feed itself. Mildew, the black mildew, black mold, has to rely on carbohydrates to survive. That's the only way it can grow. And what's carbohydrates? Carbohydrate is the dirt that's on your driveway. So it's pollen, it's just debris, and that's what it survives on. If you take away the food, it cannot survive. It also needs some form of moisture, as you can see. It needs some kind of moisture. If you take away the moisture, it's not going to be able to thrive. That's why mold and mildew can actually grow in basements and algae cannot. Algae has to have sunlight to live. It feeds itself. Algae has chlorophyll and it's green. It can feed itself. Mold / mildew, whatever you want to call it, cannot. It actually has to rely on carbohydrates. That's why if you put a cardboard box and newspapers in a basement that's completely dark, what grows? Mold and mildew. Will algae grow? No, because algae has to have sunlight. So I wanted to demonstrate just how much power and how much lift that actual cleaner has. It is amazing. So again, effective on swimming pool decks, if you have a rough, hard surface like a patio, you can use it, driveways, everything. So what did I do there? Real quickly, obviously I spelled out the sexiest man on earth, Doc. Alright, so I spelled out Doc here, D-O-C. Then I went back and I pressure washed with the tip, the O. And you can see, in about the same time it took me to write Doc, it took me to clean the center of the O, and you can see the brush marks in it. So there's still brush marks in here versus the letters, which are nice and even and clean. If you learn how to use one of these and if you match it up, last year I did this video and I didn't have enough power. I was using a smaller pressure washer, but when you use that unit right there with this right here, it's amazing, absolutely amazing. All right, real quick note, someone asked on the last video, how long does it last? I only do mine every year and a half maybe, just because I like that really bright white. But I'm gonna show you something. And I'm gonna go down here to the pool, and in January I did a little, we were back here testing cleaning agents, muriatic acid, bleaches, all kinds of stuff on the pool decks. And I want to show you something. See these letters? D-O-C, Doc. So that was done, those letters were done in January, and it's now July. So I wanted to leave that here just so you could see it specifically for this video. Just to say, hey, yeah, it does last a long time, and there is buildup over time. Holy crap. If I wasn't shooting video today, I wouldn't do it today. I'd wait for a cloudy day to shoot this because it is 97 degrees out here. I had to stop 2 or 3 times and go inside and hydrate. It's just hot as heck, dude. But I'm done. It's never a quick job, but this thing makes it so much easier. Another quick note about the surface cleaner. Normally when you get to the edge of the driveway, sidewalks, cracks, you're getting mud, you got to wear safety glasses. You've got to wear safety glasses if you're using a spray tip. Surface cleaner, there's nothing. You don't get any of that. You're actually pushing cement or concrete. You're actually pushing it. You can see that gray crap running off your driveway. I think it's all over stuff. Gets all over your lawn, gets all over your house. That's why professionals use a surface cleaner, because it's so much neater, and that's why you always use one near a pool too. Beach sand white. I mean beach sand white. It is just incredible. So you can see it's not really dry down there, but it is dry up here, and it is just beaming. Okay, and the last thing we do before we put it away, what I've got is I've got the switch set to off. I have hooked up, I'll put a link to this pump saver, put it on your intake. So this is where your garden hose goes. And all you're going to do is just barely touch it. You don't want to lock it. Just touch it till you see till you see some come out of that relief valve. Now what I want you to do is I want you to pull this a couple times. Then I want you to hit this again. That's about it. And you're all set to go. Anyways, guys, don't forget, if you want, click the subscribe button. If you don't. But in the description below, there's a link. And there's a new feature that I think we're going to start doing, which is you can actually click on the products and it'll actually take you right over to your Amazon cart, and you can add it to your cart and then come back to our page, which is a cool feature. So that's about it. I'm hot. I'm going inside. Break this thing down. Doc.